Okay, I want to start off by giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah, Quadash. Double honours to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who teacheth the Bible in 100% truth. And shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes of Israel, starting with the 144,000, consisting of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans in the land of North, Central, and South America, as well as a speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners living amongst other nations. Shalom to you. Okay, it's going to be a short video today, just a quick one. Some information regarding the CBDC with the MOTB. But before I get into it, I just want to make a correction. In the previous video, I was talking about the solar eclipse and the patterns that have been created by the solar eclipses on America. I'm not going to go all deep into it. And I pronounced the first letter of the Hebrew, or the first and last letter of the Hebrew alphabet incorrectly. You come to the truth, and you start off as a babe in the truth, in the understanding. You have to forget the knowledge of the world, and then you take on new information, new understanding. You have to think in a completely different way to totally understand the actual truth, because you've been taught a lie your whole life. So you've been told to look at life through a particular piece of glass, but when you come to the truth, in actual fact, we take you round the piece of glass and we help you to look through the other side, and you then see everything that's on display, through the power of the Holy Spirit of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. So obviously part of that is obviously learning our language. When I consider, you think I was 38 years old, and you come to the truth, and then someone introduces your actual language to you, and your whole life you're living. You have yourself, you have your bloodline, your family, and everything before that, and you don't even know your own actual language, or your own people's language. So you come to the truth, and now you have to learn all these new things. You have to learn the understanding of the scriptures, so on and so forth, and obviously you take it all on board. It can get a bit tricky, and there's a little stumbling blocks out there, which the Most High sets up in order to stop everyone from obtaining this truth. You every now and again you'll come across a stumbling block, but you trip. But if you carry on, you don't manage to. You don't fall. You fall when you refuse to accept. There's a lot of people that pick up this book, and then they make up their own mind straight away. They're reading through it. Oh, this is what it means. That's what it means. And when you then try to tell them, no, look, it's different, they don't want to accept that. What they've done is they've hit the stumbling block, and then they've hit their face on the concrete. They've hit the floor, and they're out of the race. This is Yahweh Shai. This the example. Hebrews chapter 12, Apostle Paul. It says, "Wherefore, seeing we are also compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight, every burden, and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us." So the race that we're running is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So you don't have to gobble everything up down, super quick. You can take your time. You can pace yourself. That's what you would do in a marathon. And it says, "Let us run with patience the race that is set before us." So with that marathon, you pace yourself, and you have to go at a particular pace that you can handle. Whoever you are, whatever type of spirit's put on you, and you just take it from there. It says, "Looking unto Yahweh Shai, the author and finisher of our faith," because we're trying to ultimately do what he did, although we'll never achieve it to the heights or the level of which he did. That's obviously the race that we're running. It says, "Who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross." He went through all that on the cross, and so the least we can do is Yahweh Shai had to go through all that physical pain. So you have to stretch your brain a little bit. in order to understand things that you never understood before. Now you've got to, go to the trouble of learning a new language or whatever else, differentiating between these various different things. It's the least you could do, because you wouldn't be able to do that unless he'd actually gone through those endurances on the cross, as it says. It says, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High. It says, for consider him that endureth such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. So you think that how Shai had to endure, really now we're having to endure this marathon race. We're able to do that because he went on the cross, so it's the least we could do. But then obviously at the same time, Apostle Paul's saying, you pace yourself and just run the race that's set before you. Now, like I say, I made the error with the pronunciation. That was on Saturday, and since then I came across a short video, but I didn't record, didn't take a picture, a screenshot of who actually made the short video. So I can't actually tell you who put the short video up, but it was regarding this app, and it's pretty helpful actually. So you look at here, that ancient Paleo Hebrew language, you've got to remember, is read from right to left, not left to right like the English. So the first letter of the alphabet is top right. You can see that's the symbol of the solar eclipse, what it's going to complete on April the 8th. And so you have that particular, the first letter and the last, obviously on the bottom left, because it's going from right to left, you have the tha. So just wanted to correct that and get the correct pronunciation. But like I say, this is a pretty decent app. When you look at where is it? So when you look at the name of the Most High, this is what you're reading. Now a lot of people probably think it's written left to right, Yahweh, but it's not. It's written right to left. It's ancient Paleo Hebrew writing. It's an ancient Paleo Hebrew language. It's actually our language. The scriptures talk about the Most High sending a nation of fierce countenance and strange tongue against us, and that is these Edomites. You're born into their culture. You've even learnt. You're reading and writing and speaking in their language better than your own, and that language goes in the opposite direction to yours. So how strange do you want it to be? You're supposed to be reading from right to left, and they got you reading left to right. And that's people of a strange language. But when you look at this particular word, for example, going back to the app, and so you can just click on the. So you have this particular symbol.
Ya. Ha. Wa. Ha.
Obviously Yahweh, but obviously it's Waha, but it'd obviously be Yahweh. I've only just picked up this app actually. Obviously, like I say, I saw someone show that it's a good app to use. So I've just kind of got into it, but here, the word example. So the word I've just typed in here, Yahweh. See, it's written left to right, Yahweh in English. In the brackets, but obviously above that in the Paleo, it's written right to left.
Yahweh.
Yes, she sounds like she needs to wake up. She just woke up out of bed, but you get the idea. But I'll mess around with that more. But I just wanted to make that correction so you saw. I'll go back one more time. Correction of the pronunciation. Obviously, the information I gave you was correct, but the pronunciation was incorrect. So you have the first letter of the Paleo Hebrew,
The
alphabet, and the last. And that's what you're going to see on April the 8th, those particular completion of those symbols. Yeah, so. And there was this one as well. I don't know. I had this. I think I've watched a video previously. And probably someone's brought this one up, doitinhebrew.com, because I had the, in your phone I got tabs open for the last 2 years, man. I got like 300 tabs open. I don't know what's going on, but I dug around because I knew I had something. This one's a good one as well, because you can go to the scriptures, and then you can look up a word in, for example, in the Old Testament, and you can say, oh, that's the word in English. Then you can look it up on the blue letter. You get the Hebrew, get the pronunciation, but then you're just relying on the words that are there to get words in Hebrew, in Paleo Hebrew. And then I was thinking, well, what if I want a certain particular word, my own individual word? So, you can go to this site, and this one, like, for example, I've got earth in there. And then you have, for example, it's giving you different options. So you've got like Adama, which is man in the, I believe in Genesis, if I'm right, the man is made of the dust of the ground. But then you have Eretz, and that is the actual earth. Even when you click on it here, you click on the Hebrew here, you click on the Hebrew text, then it's giving you country. Where is it? Ball. So you can click on the sound, but you got to subscribe. Like I said, I just started picking it up, messing around with it. What it is, when you come to the truth, really, there's certain levels of information. So what happens to a lot of people, they come in, they find out they're a Hebrew Israelite, or the children of the Most High. They find out that the Edomites are going into captivity, and then it's like the short circuit in their brain just goes kaput. You see the steam coming out of their ears, and that's it. They reach level 1, and it's like their brain can't take any more. That's so overwhelming. And then you'll see these people that go out there and they're just living off that. And it's like, yeah, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, and I can't wait for you lot to this and that. It's like, yeah, but you're not really a Hebrew Israelite, because you ain't got nothing else about you that makes you a Hebrew Israelite. So, and there's different levels. So you go upper level, upper level, upper level. I mean, for me, like, the first thing I wanted to learn was prophecy. I think because of what I saw, the vision. So the first thing I was obsessed with was prophecy. And then I was obsessed with the spirit world. So I kept listening to breakdowns of those to get those, and then understood that picture clear first, then moving on to other things. See, that was a bit backwards, but that's because of obviously what happened. But really, someone would come in, they would learn that they're a Hebrew Israelite, blah blah blah. Slowly they would learn laws and this and that, and then you have to start with the Paleo Hebrew really straight away. Really, you should do, which I didn't do, but then you should do, because obviously you first of all you learn the name of the Most High, and then you go, okay, that's the name of the Most High. Why is it the name of the Most High? You can explain it. And so now you sound like a Hebrew Israelite. Now you actually sound like a Hebrew Israelite, because if I talk to an Elamite and say, what's the name of your God? They'll tell you. And then I say, what's your language? They'll tell you. Then you say, why is your God called that? They'll tell you. But what do we tell people? Why is your name Davis? Because that's my family were slaves under the Davis family. That's all you can tell me. That's not you. And the Paleo Hebrew is you. That's your language. So you can kind of work it from there. But obviously, say it's a marathon, so you have to pace yourself. But before I move on to talk about the CBDC, I just wanted to. I was going to go into this one as well. This is Apostle Paul again. Just 1 Corinthians 9:24 says, "Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that ye may obtain." And you run by wanting to take on board this information, the understanding, go into the scriptures, take on the Paleo Hebrew, the Greek, and then understand the scriptures on a deeper level, and it just goes deeper and deeper. The Holy Spirit keeps working on you, and it just keeps developing. And the scriptures talk about you growing in this truth. The seed is planted by the prophet, and then the Most High, what another prophet will water it by bringing you videos and information and understanding, and then obviously the Most High gives you the increase. So as long as you're increasing, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua is dealing with you. But yeah, knowing that they which run in a race, all, but only one receive the prize, so run that ye may obtain it. And really, when you think about it, is the one that obtains the prize, the one body, is the body of the elect, 144,000 and the elect. Together they make one body, and that body is the body that wins the prize. So if you've got to keep up, you've got to run. If you don't, you get left out. It's pretty much with that. So even with a marathon, you've got to consider, there's some people that go out there to get first, second, third. Yeah, fair enough. But some people are just happy to be able to complete the marathon. It's such a long distance, and it's so enduring and grueling, but they get a sense of achievement out of doing it. So they ain't bothered whether they came 15th, 25th, 30th. They just go home happy that I did it. And if you're part of the elect and you get beamed up into that chariot onto the day of the Lord, you're not going to sit there and say, oh well, I want to be first and second, third. You just be happy just to be beamed up. So you're like that marathon runner that basically says, yeah, whatever to first place, second place, just beat me up, Scotty, please. And that's what it's going to come down to. So, but yeah, like I say, I made that was all back on on the basis of making that error. So apologies for that. But if you're new, don't want to lead you astray. If you're of more understanding, then you probably noticed I made the mistake anyway. So yeah, back to what I'm actually wanted to talk about today is the CBDC. And we know the solar eclipse is on the way, the start of the Hebrew calendar year, biblical calendar year, and we're expecting things to get deep in the next year. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is about to do his thing and bring that hour of temptation and bring that trouble like never been seen before on the planet Earth, bring World War III, and bring so-called UFO invasion, chariots of the Most High, and then ICBMs. So, expecting to see that very soon. So obviously with that, got the MOTB. I explained the other day, MOTB is more likely to come towards the end of that period. Not obviously at the end. It has to come before the ICBMs, before the UFOs, the chariots. But it has to come after a financial crash, and it has to come after fear has been created, i.e. with pestilence or with violence, civil war. And we're looking at America, because all these things will happen in individual places around the world, but America, modern day Egypt, will have all the plagues upon it. So once we see all the plagues ripe in Egypt, we know that it's it's days away for that MOTB, and that's going to be the answer to the chaos. And so that's what I'm looking at now. This is Revelation chapter 12. This is the angel Michael says, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, talking about Esau, his Edomites, and these other nations as well, fighting against so-called chariots, so-called UFOs, chariots of Israel, chariots of the Most High, angelic vehicles. It says Michael and his angels, the angelic vehicles, fought against the dragon, his Edomites, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. Because any planes, any fighter jets that are up there fighting against these so-called UFOs, Michael and the rest of the multitude of chariots, after that point there's going to be no fighter jets left in the air. They're all going to be shot down, all destroyed, and as it says here, their place found any more in heaven. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. It says, and the dragon was cast out, the old serpent, called the devil, and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. These Edomites. Says he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So that's talking about World War III, and then at some point, chariots of Israel are going to arrive in the sky, these so-called UFOs. They're going to start shooting laser fire, and they'll get into dogfights with these fighter jets, but the dogfights that they get into are going to be like child's play to these so-called UFOs, these chariots, these angelic vehicles. It's going to be like child's play, and they're literally going to wipe them all out, and they'll be found, no more will be found in the heavens, in the skies. So verse 10, 12 and 10, Revelation 12 and 10, it says, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, it says, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of the anointed, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. It says here, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. See, Yahushua went on the cross, and that's why we're being resurrected spiritually, and that's why we're overcoming them. We're not overcoming them for what what we're going to do ourselves. It's because Most High has decided to resurrect us spiritually, because Yahushua went on the cross, shed his blood, and now we're expecting to receive spiritual gifts, spiritual salvation, divine intervention. When you consider if that solar sign signals, if you like, the start of a time like never been seen on the planet Earth, getting to that, then it's also signaling the time when the members of the elect, the servants shall eat. It also signifies a time when they will start to receive spiritual power. So there's a hell of a lot to look forward to in the up and coming 12 months, should we say. So they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. It says, and they love not their lives unto death. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. That's all I really need. And the devil knowing that he have but a short time, and this goes into that new world order, that changeover, order out of chaos, that everything that we've been talking about and what we're expecting to see come up very soon. We're expecting all these changes to happen, this civil war and all these other things, and eventually this is going to usher, just like I explained, with the financial crash, civil war, and pestilence, and eventually people are going to be left with no choice but to take the MOTB, and that's what it's speaking of. And a big part of that MOTB is the CBDC, and the CBDC represents digital format of money, if you like, rather than having cash or coins. It represents a monetary system in a digital format. And the CBDC is so big, so important when you actually check it, that even IUIC, the leader of IUIC, he'll deny that the MOTB is what we say it is, with the device under the skin to buy and sell. Yet even he's mentioned the CBDC, so that shows you how big. If that top guy on the horse, if he's talking about the CBDC, then the CBDC is big. And the CBDC, like I've explained, I expect, this is what I expect a financial crash, if you like, or a problem with the financial system, which is going to move us from cash and coins into the CBDC, but you'll be able to use it on the apps or whatever else. And then eventually, like I say, with the rise in violence, rise in pestilence, the rise in fear, then they'll usher in the device under the skin. And so that CBDC being ready to go is quite important. And when you're watching this particular video here that I'm going to leave up for you, and this is exactly what she goes into. This lady, Lena, our friend Lena Petrova, I've watched her before, and she's talking about how CBDC launch date revealed, and she goes into SWIFT. When you do transactions overseas, for example, or over like a digital, at the minute, I could transfer money from here to you wherever you are. And I believe it's Swift who will take care of that transaction. And what she's pretty much going into is she's saying that how these people were sitting on the fence, and various other people have been sitting on the fence for a long time. All of a sudden, within a week, they've started to change their tune, and they're giving timelines of 1 to 2 years. And she's claiming that if they have timelines of being able to introduce this within 1 to 2 years, she's pretty much saying that they must have the system ready to go. She's even talking about the trials that they did and the things that they did to test it out. So she's pretty much telling you that CBDC is ready to go. And, like they're saying, we're going to roll this out within a year or two. But the devil knows he has but a short time. So you could easily roll that out within a year. That 1 to 2 years, you can cut it short. And, we've explained this before. This is what the devil does. He uses gradualism. And he makes you sort of, become accustomed to subtle changes over time. And I've explained before, they talk about this technology, this change into AI, or years away, 5 years, 10 years. It's not. It's around the corner. They're just trying to create a buffer, in your mind, so that when the change comes, it's not such a big impact for you. And like I say, now they're driving up the violence, the inflation, all the problems, and eventually they're going to bring it through. So they could easily have CBDC, good to go by the end of this year, up and ready, launched, and who knows? Oh, she even goes into the fact, you got to watch this. It's only 8 minutes long. She even goes into the fact that, they are keeping it quiet so that they can just present it as a solution to a problem that might come along. I mean, she almost sounds like a prophet. I mean, she literally like virgin on the borderline. I'll give it to her. She sounds like one of us. She's bringing through some good information, and she's helping us see through we can already see through it, but we try and explain it. We try and bring actual evidence, and show you. And this lady is doing that. She even talks about how the fact that over the last 2 to 3 years, information has been little bits here, little bits there, nothing concrete. And the only people who have been, and she said, we haven't been sure where they're going to go with it. The only people that have been sure are the prophets. And we've clearly, distinctly told you that the CBDC is going to be a big thing when it comes to the MOTB. And she's saying, now all of a sudden their tune's changing and they're going in this direction with it. Before I go, so I took 3 screenshots. She starts off like this is just an example of something she said in the video. She said X amount of percentage of the world central banks are now exploring digital. We need to understand that what they really mean is aggressively developing, while remaining completely silent on the progress and the timeline. So she's pretty much telling you that, she's telling you how they're running it. They've got it all ready to go. They're keeping quiet about it, about the timeline. They're saying, we're just doing this, we're just doing that. But really what they're doing is they're aggressively developing it. And she's saying now that Swift have come out and said, that they could be good to go in a year or two. She said that means they already have it up and running. They've tested it and it's good to go. So the CBDC thing is close. It's pretty much virtually ready. It's there. And, if we see any type of financial meltdown or crash of the system this year, this CBDC is going to be ready to go. And then, don't be surprised if by the end of the year, you're using your phone, the apps to buy things. That could very well be the case. And like I say, if we move over the so-called new year, January the 1st, who knows what can happen. We're hoping this hopeful year of Jacob's Trouble 2024, and another one another box to tick off is the way she's addressing it. She's addressing it as like the CBDC is complete. So that's another box we can tick for 2024, hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. So I'll leave the link for this video. It's only 8 minutes long, and please watch it. Watch it to the end. It's only 8 minutes, and I hope that was edifying. Until next time, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakah Wadash, and until next time, Shalom.